my name is Salem Cora, and I'm beyond thrilled to be applying for the Paprika 2026 Festival Playwrights program. Alright, to get right into the questions, about how I came to the Paprika Festival. So actually, I work as a fellow for the Inkspire program. It's a nonprofit that spreads just awareness on some very important issues, and they have a creative writing section for which I write bi-monthly articles for. And this organization hosted a networking event where I actually met Merlin Simard. And yeah, it just felt a little bit like fate to meet her just before the Paprika applications closed. And she told me all about the program, which obviously I was so excited about, and basically immediately got started on my application. In terms of my past experience with writing, so I'm sure any writer will tell you this, but I've been writing for as long as I can remember. Notably, short stories have always been like something that I always have done in my spare time, as well as poetry, and I'm also currently working on my second novel. However, specifically to this program and playwriting in general, in high school I wrote or co-wrote a play with my theater teacher. It was actually a play about clowns. It was so much fun to write, and what was particularly special about the experience is that I got to work with the actors directly in tailoring their roles just in a way that felt most authentic to them. I also got a little bit of experience directing with my theater teacher, which was also just so amazing, seeing how the words that I would write alone in my bedroom were able to just come to life on stage. And especially in the final performance, I just felt so proud of myself and of the entire team that brought this performance together. Alright, in terms of what type of performance/writing excites me the most, what excites me the most is semi-abstract, both writing and theater. I just really appreciate when there is a blend of emotional clarity and ambiguity, where the emotion is really clear and it's raw and so cathartic, but at the same time, the storyline can be interpreted different ways according to the different audience members or the readers in the case of a piece of written work. And yeah, I just truly believe that those highly emotional pieces in which there's an interaction with the audience or the reader are what intrigue me the most and what I personally find the most impactful. And I guess this leads me into the next question, which is what I hope to learn/develop from this program. I really would love to be able to cultivate that exchange between the artist and the audience. Specifically just how to make this powerful emotion that's also open to interpretation. I think this is just such an amazing quality that theater is able to have, but I also think it's really difficult to execute, and so I'd love to just get some guidance on how I can learn to do that. Alright, next question is what my writing process looks like. I'll be completely honest, my writing process is not constant at all. There are days where I will write for hours and hours on end just because I feel so inspired, and I'm just like on the go, with my writing. However, there's also other days where I have a writing block, or, also just life gets in the way sometimes, and I am completely aware of that. And I'm also a very proactive person, so when it comes to meeting deadlines, I take into consideration the fact that my writing process isn't super linear, and I need to make room for that and accommodate for that. So with meeting deadlines, I always make sure to plan way in advance so that I can meet all the deadlines. In terms of feedback, I really value open dialogue. I know that it's not always possible to meet face-to-face with the person that's critiquing my work. However, even if it's just through an email exchange or even like a Zoom call, I really appreciate when there's just a back and forth where I can ask for the clarity in terms of the criticism and really just be able to expand and clarify, and yeah, having that back and forth. Alright, last question. Is there a song, TikTok, meme, or image that I have heard recently that has made me laugh or inspired me? Unfortunately, I'm not really much on social media much. I'm trying to stay locked in. However, I recently listened to the Pina Colada song, and I had never really fully paid attention to the lyrics. But this time, I was really tuning in, and it's just so ironic and funny the way that these two lovers basically get bored of each other and seek something else elsewhere, and they basically find each other again. It was also really inspiring because it reminded me that we can rediscover love in something that feels familiar. Alright, thank you so much for listening to my application.